There comes a moment in every person's life when strength runs out. A moment when your prayers become tears, your confidence turns into uncertainty, and your heart whispers, "I can't do this anymore." We all face seasons that are too heavy for human shoulders. There are battles no amount of money can solve, pains no friend can fully understand, and burdens that leave us awake in the middle of the night. If you are carrying one of those burdens today, hear this truth. God never asked you to carry it alone. The greatest mistake we make is believing that we must be strong all the time. We wear masks of confidence while our hearts are breaking inside. We tell everyone we're fine when we're silently falling apart. But God is not impressed by pretending. He is moved by honesty. He invites us to come exactly as we are tired, confused, afraid, and overwhelmed. When you admit that you cannot handle everything on your own, you are not admitting defeat. You are opening the door for God's strength to begin working in your life. There are moments in life when every ounce of human strength seems to disappear. You try to stay positive, keep moving forward, and convince yourself that everything will work out. But deep inside you know you have reached your limit. These are the moments that reveal an important truth. You were never created to carry every burden by yourself. God never intended for His children to rely only on their own wisdom, abilities, or determination. Instead, He invites you to lean on His unlimited strength. Trusting God's strength over your own is not admitting failure. It is recognizing that His power is far greater than anything you could ever possess. When you stop depending entirely on yourself and begin depending on Him, you discover a peace that remains steady even when life feels uncertain. God's strength does not weaken under pressure, grow tired after long battles, or disappear during difficult seasons. His power is constant, faithful, and available every single day. Many people believe that strength means never asking for help, never showing emotion, and never admitting weakness. The world often celebrates self-reliance and independence, encouraging people to believe they can overcome anything through determination alone. While hard work and perseverance are valuable, there are challenges that no amount of personal effort can overcome. There are emotional wounds too deep for human solutions, fears too powerful for positive thinking alone, and situations that require divine intervention. This is where faith transforms everything. God steps into the places where human ability reaches its limit. He becomes the strength you cannot produce on your own. He lifts burdens that are too heavy for your shoulders and gives courage when fear threatens to take control. Every time you choose to trust Him instead of your own understanding, you open your heart to receive His guidance, His wisdom, and His supernatural peace. Trusting God also means releasing the need to control every outcome. Many people become exhausted because they constantly try to predict the future, solve every problem, and protect themselves from every possible disappointment. This endless striving creates anxiety and steals joy from the present moment. God never asked you to carry the responsibility of controlling everything. He simply asks you to trust Him one step at a time. His perspective is eternal while yours is limited. He sees every detail of your life from beginning to end. He knows the opportunities that are ahead, the obstacles that will appear, and the blessings that are already being prepared. Even when His plans do not make immediate sense, they are always working toward a greater purpose. Choosing to trust His strength allows you to rest in the confidence that He is guiding your path with perfect wisdom. Throughout history, God's people experienced victory not because they were the strongest, but because they depended on Him completely. Again and again, impossible situations became testimonies of God's power. Fear was replaced with courage, weakness became strength, and hopeless circumstances were transformed into stories of faith. The same God who worked in those lives continues to work today. He has not changed. His promises remain true. His love remains constant, and His power remains limitless. When you face overwhelming circumstances, remember that you are not standing alone. Heaven is fully aware of every challenge you are facing. God is already present in tomorrow, preparing the way before you even arrive. Every prayer you whisper reaches His heart, and every tear you shed is seen by Him. Nothing escapes His attention. There will always be moments when doubt tries to convince you that God has forgotten you. Delays may make you question His timing, and unanswered prayers may test your patience. During these seasons, trusting God's strength becomes even more important. Faith is not built only during moments of celebration. It grows strongest during seasons of waiting. While you wait, God is shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for blessings that require greater spiritual maturity. What feels like silence is often God's invitation to draw closer to Him. Instead of allowing fear to dominate your thoughts, fill your heart with His promises. Remember the countless times He has carried you through challenges before. If He remained faithful then, He will remain faithful now. Every new day is another opportunity to surrender your burdens to the Lord. Instead of beginning your morning with worry, begin it with prayer. Instead of focusing on everything that could go wrong, focus on the One who holds your future securely in His hands. Let every challenge remind you that God's strength is greater than your weakness. Let every obstacle become another reason to depend more deeply on Him. As your trust grows, your fear loses its power. Your confidence no longer depends on perfect circumstances because it is rooted in God's unchanging character. His strength will sustain you through every trial, His wisdom will guide every decision, His peace will calm every anxious thought, and His love will remain your secure foundation no matter what life brings. When you place your confidence completely in Him, you discover that the greatest source of strength has always been God's faithful presence walking beside you every step of the way. There are seasons in life when the weight of responsibility, uncertainty, and pain becomes more than the human heart can carry. No matter how determined you are, there comes a point where your own strength is no longer enough. You may have tried every solution you could think of, sought advice from others, and worked tirelessly to fix what seems broken, yet the burden remains. It is during these moments that God gently calls you to surrender everything into His hands. Finding peace through complete surrender does not mean giving up on life or abandoning hope. It means releasing the impossible weight of trying to control everything and trusting the One who has never failed. God does not ask you to carry every burden by yourself. He invites you to place your fears, worries, dreams, and unanswered questions before Him, because His shoulders are strong enough to bear what yours cannot. Surrender is one of the greatest acts of faith, because it requires you to believe that God's wisdom is greater than your own understanding. Human nature constantly seeks control. We want to know what tomorrow will bring, how every problem will be solved, and when every prayer will be answered. When those answers do not come immediately, fear often takes the place of faith. Anxiety begins to fill the mind, and peace slowly disappears. Yet God's invitation remains the same. He asks you to trust Him even when you cannot see the entire path. His plans are never limited by your circumstances. He sees opportunities where you see obstacles. He creates purpose from pain and brings hope into situations that seem impossible. Every time you surrender your need to control the future, you make room for God's perfect plan to unfold in ways beyond your imagination. Complete surrender also means laying down the burdens you were never designed to carry. Many people carry guilt from the past, regret over missed opportunities, bitterness from painful experiences, and fear about what lies ahead. These invisible burdens become heavier with every passing day until they drain joy, weaken faith, and steal inner peace. God never intended for His children to live beneath such weight. He offers forgiveness for every mistake, healing for every wound, and hope for every broken dream. When you surrender your past to Him, you allow His grace to replace your shame. When you surrender your future, you replace fear with confidence in His promises. When you surrender today's challenges, you experience the peace that comes from knowing God is already working on your behalf. One of the hardest parts of surrender is waiting on God's timing. Many prayers seem to linger without immediate answers. During those seasons, it can be tempting to take matters into your own hands or assume that God has forgotten you. The truth is that God's delays are never empty. While you wait, He is preparing circumstances, strengthening your faith, and shaping your character. His timing is always guided by perfect wisdom and complete love. What appears to be a closed door today may actually be God's protection from something that would not have been good for you. What feels like a delay may be preparation for something far greater than you originally imagined. Trust grows stronger when you choose to believe God's heart, even when you cannot understand His timing. Peace is not found in having every question answered or every problem solved. True peace comes from knowing that God remains in control regardless of what is happening around you. Storms may continue, challenges may remain, and uncertainty may still surround you. But your heart can remain steady because it rests in God's unchanging character. His faithfulness does not depend on circumstances. His love never weakens. His promises never expire. Every day, He provides exactly what you need to continue moving forward. His strength becomes your strength, His wisdom becomes your guide, and His presence becomes your greatest comfort. When your confidence is placed in Him instead of your circumstances, fear begins to lose its grip. Surrender is not a single decision made once in a lifetime. It is a daily choice to trust God again and again. Each morning presents a new opportunity to place your plans before Him. Each challenge becomes another invitation to depend on His strength rather than your own. Every disappointment becomes a reminder that God is still writing your story, even when you cannot yet see the ending. As you continue surrendering every area of your life, your relationship with Him grows deeper. You begin to recognize His guidance more clearly, hear His voice more confidently, and experience His peace more consistently. Instead of living with constant anxiety about the future, you begin walking with quiet confidence, knowing that God is leading every step. There is incredible freedom in releasing control to the one who holds the universe together. You no longer have to pretend you have all the answers. You no longer have to carry burdens that were never yours to bear. God delights in caring for those who place their complete trust in Him. He walks beside you through every valley, strengthens you during every battle, and surrounds you with His peace when life feels overwhelming. No situation is too complicated for His wisdom. No heart is too broken for His healing. And no problem is too great for His power. As you continue surrendering every fear, every dream, every relationship, and every unanswered prayer into His hands, you will discover that true peace is not found in controlling life, but in trusting the faithful God who lovingly controls it all with perfect purpose and everlasting care. So lift your head. Wipe away your tears. Refuse to let fear write the final chapter of your story. Your weakness is not the end. It is the place where God's power begins to shine. Trust Him one more day, pray one more prayer, take one more step in faith. The strength you need is not something you must create. It is a gift God gladly gives to those who ask. Today, ask God for strength to face what you cannot handle alone. And when you do, believe with all your heart that He will never leave you to fight life's battles by yourself. His hands are strong enough to carry every burden. His grace is sufficient for every weakness, and His love is greater than every fear. Walk forward with confidence because you are not walking alone. God is with you, and with Him you have all the strength you will ever need.